and I'm here to let you know that Doctor Strange is no perfect movie. So in this film, Dr. Stephen Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, loses the use of his hands in a car accident and can no longer work as a neurosurgeon. So out of desperation, he turns to a sorcerer called the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, to teach him how to use the mystic arts so that he can regain the use of his hands. But in the meantime, he also has to prevent an evil rebel sorcerer named Caecilius, played by Mads Mikkelsen, from summoning an ancient demon that could throw the entire world into chaos. Now, with Jungle Book and Doctor Strange being both released this year, I have much more hope in studios taking their time and making the CGI effects look as authentic as possible. In this film, whenever a character is in a dimension surrounded by mirrors and reflections, or during an action scene they manipulate a solid object like a wall or a building, each object's textures are fully rendered artistically, they look very photorealistic, and the settings are pretty creatively utilized in combat, whether to trap someone inside an aquarium so they can't fight back, or to change the field of gravity in order to disorient an opponent. Now, sometimes during the hand-to-hand fights there is a little bit too much shaky cam, but thankfully for the most part you can actually follow the choreography, like who's hitting who, where they're getting hit, and the emotional stakes do keep you invested either way. Benedict Cumberbatch has the striking resemblance to the original character and is an actor who is excellent at being simultaneously repulsive and charming. His thirst for knowledge makes him feel as if he can take over other surgeries from lesser qualified doctors, or attempt to practice spells that, if he makes any mistake, could kill him or several other innocent people. But at the same time, Strange practices sorcery as frequently and effortlessly as he did as a surgeon, and he studies what information he has before trying it out for himself. And he stands out from other Marvel heroes because, while there are heroes like Tony Stark who use their wit in order to solve problems, usually in the finale it's their combat skills and their technology that they use to defeat villains. So it is refreshing to see a hero like Strange use his mind in order to outwit the other characters. And Tilda Swinton, as the Ancient One, sees desire for knowledge more as a curse than a blessing, because on one hand, she needs to know any information that she can in order to defeat any threat against Earth. But at the same time, these threats wouldn't keep happening if these sorcerers weren't taught these techniques, and she feels responsible given the fact that at this very specific school where they teach mystic arts, she's the one who has taught all of them. So you can understand the skepticism she has for not really wanting to teach Strange in the first place. Mads Mikkelsen does a good job at creating one of the MCU's more developed villains. It would have been nice if we got to see more of his complexity as opposed to him and other characters monologuing about it, but the director, Scott Derrickson, has openly admitted that Marvel's villains don't really get that much screen time to allow for development, and that he hoped to show Caecilius' point of view and what makes him tick with whatever time he had. And in my opinion, he did. Caecilius has absolutely no intention of destroying the world, but actually wants to share certain powers with the rest of the world that he feels the Ancient One is using just for herself. And after we learn more about his past, we do understand why he sees himself benefiting mankind. As for problems, the supporting cast isn't really given an equal amount of screen time amongst one another. Some characters like Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo are given a full three-dimensional arc that can be expanded in future sequels, while there are other characters. One that really stuck out for me was Rachel McAdams as Strange's on-off girlfriend that he works with, who was enjoyable, but she really was only in it whenever he needed her to tend to his or someone else's wounds. And the other issue is that some of the humor felt really forced, and it didn't mesh with the more disturbing imagery that you saw in these other dimensions. If I were to tell you that this film features one sequence where Strange is in this really psychedelic dimension and he looks at his hands and his fingers are growing more hands, and then I were to tell you that there was another sequence where his cloak of levitation is basically the magic carpet from Aladdin, fighting other characters for him and wiping his face with his sleeves, and was that in the comics? It just felt like something that Marvel Studios is just like, well, we need a little bit of humor, so let's just do that, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not against humor in comic book movies. In fact, I think it's a benefit. It makes the characters feel more human. But there were jokes like that that just felt really cartoony and didn't fit with the tone. It is true that some of the humor is a little bit forced and not every supporting character is given an equal amount of screen time, but Benedict Cumberbatch as the main character The rest of the ensemble cast, one of the better MCU villains, and the outstanding visuals, really good 3D too, I'm actually glad I saw it in 3D, make Doctor Strange stand out amongst other MCU films. And for that reason, I'm going to give Doctor Strange a 4 out of 5. Guys, thanks as always for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at NoPerfectMovie.com. And once again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.